Welcome back to Retro Wednesday, the Titanium Hanger. Today I want to talk to you about unproduced toys from the 80s. When toy lines come to an end, companies see that sales are dropping, but they don't just stop or end completely. They actually have a lot of work they've done to these toy lines, and they end up scrapping them, but there's still prototypes out there. They still had a plan. These are what you call the unproduced toys of a toy line, and there's a lot of concepts out there. We see some of this stuff in dealer catalogs and other different ways that we can see these things, and it's quite impressive that so much never got produced. Today I'm going to talk about a few of these. This is going to be my first edition of these unreleased. Now, I've talked about a lot of these unreleased things in my actual videos where I talked about the entire toy line and this stuff didn't come out, but it's kind of fun to just talk about unreleased stuff. And if there's something that's not on this list and you really think it's cool, it's from the 80s, late 70s, early 90s also counts, then please leave that in the comments below. Let's get into looking at several different toy lines in the first edition of unreleased toys from the 80s. The Titanium Hanger coming up. First of all, there was the Wheeled Warriors toy line. Now, there's a lot of reuse of parts that could be done and was done to make something that they call the Grim Creeper. And it looks pretty cool. It looks like you can make it double the size with some sort of compatibility. Then it swoops down when the side lever is pushed down. Then the Grim Creeper vehicle lunges ahead and knocks over anything. So it's got an action feature to it. Then there's the Spray Gunner, which is from the Lightning League, a marine machine. Vaporizing jet stream will leave monster mines brainless in their tracks. Kids can fill water in the tank. Ordinary tap water, press down on the trigger. Then there was the Fling Shot right below that, which when the power launcher is punched, the lightning disc shoots. So yet another feature. And then there was the Brew Toss, and the vehicle, aside with its horrible hook, comes with monster mines. And looks like they got some cool stuff that could have been put out, but never did. I think most people would have been interested in these 3.75-inch figures, and yes, I did touch on this in the video, but this Sawboss 3.75-inch Gillian, the Herc Storm Sailor, Oon, Jace, and Flora. Now, the thing about these were these look like the cartoon. Unlike the figures that were packed in with the vehicles, and the figures packed with the vehicles were like 1.5 inches. These would be 3.75-inch. Much different category for these, but never did these see the light of day. Maybe we got our fingers crossed. Possibly Super 7 reactions. Next up, we've got Spiral Zone. Spiral Zone's a pretty fun toy line, kind of ahead of its time. Also, there's the Bandai versions that are a little smaller but more articulated. And this toy line ended way too fast, way too abruptly with 9 figures, 4 vehicles. And it's not easy to collect those 9 figures and 4 vehicles because not that much exists. Now, there were more things planned, and I bet they would have reissued some of the figures too had that kept going on, and this toy line would be easier to get your hands on. But with this is the generator playset to generate the zone. The zone generators generate the zone that sort of zombifies humans unless you've gone through some sort of transformation like the bad guys did. And with that, it looks like it's a lot of fun. Then down below it, got the Zone Rider, Zone Gunner. It looks really kind of like a spaceship, but a lot of arsenal on it. They could fly on it, possibly kind of sit in there maybe. There's not much information other than this picture, but another vehicle would have been fun. It's kind of like you need another bad guy vehicle in there too, right? They also had 3 more characters planned with different armor, different backpacks, different helmets, and it would have been ingenious because they would have shared the same boots, the same desert, is it desert camo? The gray camo they have going on there. And so it would have shared some parts, and even looking at it, it looks like one of the armors is very similar to armor we've had in the past. So with that, this, where it's numbered 1, 2, and 3, would have been new figures, new characters for the line. Would have been a lot of fun, but those would have probably been really hard to get because they probably would have made them in even smaller quantities. But who knows if it would have kept going on back in the 80s. Silverhawks was a fun toy line back in the 80s that had 19 figures and 3 vehicles. 3 bigger giant birds and no playset. They needed a playset, and they planned one called the Hawk Haven. Very little information is known about it, but it does look like it's a clamshell design that folds open and closed, kind of like Castle Grayskull in a way. It does copy the launching missile out of the Hawk's mouth, and then figures probably would fly out of it. Not really sure how that would work, but it would have been a fun play set. Kind of imagine Silverhawks Castle Grayskull, and yeah, that's probably all the same play features you'd have inside. Now, they did plan a Copper Kid and Unreleased racer vehicle, which we know is a space racer. Looks a lot like what Super 7 just put out for their Ultimates line, but you know, if you want to stick your vintage Copper Kid in there, it probably works too. Now, here's the thing. I think they were going to do the ultrasonic version of Copper Kid, which would have done metallic torso and then just some orange plastic limbs, kind of what they've been doing all along. But with all of that, it would have been interesting to see if they kept the line going. This would have come out. They still had stuff in the works. They thought it was more popular than it was. They were also going to make a pre-transformation Monstar, which makes a lot of sense. It is kind of cool. It looks interesting. And he was pre-transformation through half most episodes anyway, and would have been more size scale with the Hawks. Now, this was done over here to show that they were going to reuse the Ghostbusters wand, the energy wand, as one of his accessories. And Kenner doing what Kenner do and reusing parts, well, that's what Kenner does all the time. Speaking of Kenner, Superpowers Wiki shows a Darkseid Tower to go up against the Hall of Justice. Hall of Justice was actually a pretty cool toy line, a pretty cool play set for Superpowers, but Darkseid Tower looks to be massive, huge, and it looks like there's some sort of feature where the claws could come together and capture somebody, but also works as a barrier to keep the good guys out. I was thinking there was supposed to be some battery electronics or something to light up the eyes that are in there, possibly, and then so many more features, like a gel, of course, and then gunner stations and all of that. But somebody out there 3D printed these. I think they sell them for $300 or $400. It's big, and it looks exactly like these pictures. But I think that's where we're at. If we want the unreleased stuff, someone out there has to make it custom for you to get it. Or make it custom yourself. Next up, we have Kenner Mask. And they had 2 things planned that never came out. And then there's a creator that's 3D printing these too. They're not cheap though, like $150 a piece. But this is Mask Ramp Up, where it's supposed to be a ramp. It's supposed to be able to service your vehicle on this. And then it turns into a little battle station. Now, I will admit this. They didn't get released probably because most of these other little battle stations did not do well, such as the Billboard Blast and all of those. This is courtesy of albertpinello.com. Great site, probably the best mask site ever on the internet. They also had Venom's Thunderball as kind of a good guy, kind of a bad guy playset there, and this was just kind of like a water tower. Is that what it's supposed to be? A water tower that turns into a battle station? That's interesting. That's cool. It comes with another figure and helmet. It is pretty interesting. So this Thunderball came with a modified version of Cliff Dagger, whole new helmet and stuff, and then the ramp up came with Honda McClane and a clone. Next up, we've got some Sectars made by Coleco. This toy line came out. It was a kind of a one and done. They were actually similar in style and build to Coleco's Rambo toy line, so they were the same height, the same size, and you could have figures interact and mingle with each other, but these had cool stuff like wings that break easily and motors inside the flyers, but this and a playset that the Hive is all those really made. Now, they had a few other things planned into a series too, but it doesn't look like they really put their full heart into it. Some of them are just repaints. We did see Stellara is one of the ones that we got from the cell. Bandar is another figure in there. Plus, if you look at it, Night Fighting Dargon did get released, but it's in here as if it's in the unreleased category. Also, they were going to do a night fighting Spy Drax and a couple of other figures. In the middle of this, we get to see that there were going to be some riding bugs and just a couple of other bugs to go along with it. Those bugs probably were going to be packed in with some of these other characters, and that made a lot of sense. Then on the very right, there were some gimmick bugs that were going to do a whole lot of different stuff, and these do look cool. It does look like it is some fun with them, especially kind of like a spinning thing would fly out, and then I don't even know the gimmicks on the other two, but Sectaurs had a little bit of life left in it if Coleco had life left in their business. Next up, Visionaries is a really fun toy line, and they got their life cut short, even though they actually had a 12-episode TV show that should have been expanded, that should have gone further than it did. It really didn't get in front of enough kids' eyes back in the 80s, so much competition. But Hasbro knew that there was so much more potential in this line that they had a full-on Series 2. Series 2 had a huge lineup of figures, and they looked pretty cool overall. They would have some battle shields instead of just having the staffs, and different kind of weapons, accessories, all kinds of different characters, more Spectral Knights and Darkling Lords. Spectral Knights would consist of Ramazan, Serrator, Kragar, Hydron, Laserlash, Malator, Ramok, Slywire, Cybron. A lot of cool stuff. I think Cybron was slated to be a driver. Then the Darkling Lords would have had Aquariar, Brax, Coil, Cyclor, Draculon, K-Bar, Lizar, Pyrock, and Olstein, which I think Olstein was supposed to be a driver. That's what vehicles like the Battler, Axer, Crossbow, and Grappler. Here are a few of those in a better picture, a better view, a better look at these, and it would have been interesting to get more of these. It seems like they were starting to work on a next generation of vehicle, and I do see what could be shared parts, but it could just be shared ingenuity into making all of these vehicles work. Here's another one that looks pretty cool, as if it was going to have some sort of launching mechanism to it, and that's interesting. Everything has to have the holograms with it. The holograms have to exist with these things to make them work. Also, we had something called Sun Imps. Sun Imps were... I thought they'd actually make the figures, but it looks like it's just going to be a round puck that has a hologram on it. That was interesting. Nuts. I would not have been excited about this, but it might have carried a very low price point. Names of the rest of the vehicles that we're showing is Air, Blade, Joust, and the Sky Bucket. But what really got collectors excited was thinking that there could possibly be an Iron Mountain, not just the prototype, but that it was actually made. It never was actually made. It was just in pictures and in our imaginations and our dreams. It was going to have all kinds of really cool stuff on it, such as different vehicles, gunner stations. You could have them climb the side of the mountain, and then up top there's going to be a cool hologram. So the hologram of Merklin, I kind of wondered how they were going to do that, because we still don't have anything today that actually does that in the form that this picture shows. But I have seen something, because if you've ever seen the Power Rangers Dome playset, it has something similar to that with a mirror in there and plastic. When I might talk about that one in the future, but it's one way they could have achieved this. But I still really want to know how they were going to do this. What was the real plan, and did the prototype actually work? I think this is all just photoshopped, well before Photoshop existed. Hasbro's Cops and Crooks toy line, Cops and Crooks toy line, was a fun toy line that had about 30 figures, 29 figures, and I think 9 vehicles, but no playsets. And no playsets planned. It looked like they really just wanted to expand the figure line, and that seemed to be the most profitable aspect of this. They can make profit off of figures. There are very few places that have any information about this, but lots of cool figures, including a Mountie and some other great characters that would have been a lot of fun to have and to track down. And I have to say that Cops and Crooks is a very easy toy line to collect. It's very abundant, and it makes me wonder why we didn't see this series too. They've gone this far to make all of these different characters with a magician in there and another android robot, and then so many cool ideas that could have put to work, but yet they just scrapped the whole idea. Obviously, it had to do with sales, and it wasn't doing as well as it could have in the 80s with all that competition. But you still have to kind of wonder what could have been with the Cops and Crooks toy line if they had made all these figures, which looks like they may have had about 12 to 15 more figures planned. There's a Royal Mountie, among others, in here that would have been fun to have and to collect. But I have to say, the toy line itself is quite quaint. It's going to take somebody having to make these as customs, or maybe a company like Nacelle, or we know another company that is Chicken Fry Toys stepping up making some 3.75 inch. Maybe they'll make some of these characters in that scale. There's a lot of possibilities, but truth is, most of these won't get made. So this is part one. This is all the time I have for today to make these videos on Retro Wednesday. I plan to make another part two down the road because there's so many fun toy lines and so many amazing Series 2, Series 4, Series 5 items that never got released, never saw the light of day, and even the prototypes escaped most people. But let me know what you think about this in the comments below. What toy line out there had unproduced stuff that you'd like me to talk about? I would look it up and go find out what's going on. It sounds like a whole lot of fun, and I really enjoy this. If you've been collecting for a long time and you have everything in a run, well, this is the fun in collecting. Let me know what you think. Time to hang out.